It's Monday, February 20th, 2023. This is the CBS Morning News. Monitoring Jimmy Carter's health, the former president entering hospice care at home. We've got the latest from Plains, Georgia. President Biden heads to Poland. He's traveling there to mark 1 year since Russia invaded Ukraine, what the Polish prime minister is hoping the U.S. will provide. And breaking overnight, at least one person is dead following a shooting during a pre-Mardi Gras parade in New Orleans. How witnesses are detailing the chaotic scene. Well, good morning and good to be with you. I'm Anne Marie Green. People from across the globe are sending prayers to 98-year-old former President Jimmy Carter. On Saturday, the Carter Center in Atlanta said the longest living president in U.S. history had decided to spend his remaining time at home with his family and receive hospice care. Christian Benavides is in Carter's hometown of Plains, Georgia with more. Christian, good morning.
Good morning, Anne Marie. Jimmy Carter has defied death many times. In 2015, beating cancer, and then at the age of 95, surviving a fall that required surgery. And then right after that fall, he was back out there volunteering with Habitat for Humanity. But now we know from that statement from the Carter Center that he will spend the remainder of his days in hospice care. Visitors came to the Carter Center in Atlanta over the weekend following the announcement former President Jimmy Carter has chosen to enter home hospice care.
Great man, great president, probably underappreciated by those who don't know much about him.
Those who worked alongside Carter on projects with Habitat for Humanity after he was president are also remembering all of his efforts to help others.
He is one hard worker. He's the first one on the site in the morning and very often the last one to leave by the end of the day.
But nowhere are the memories stronger than here in Plains, Georgia, Carter's hometown, where he's lived for more than 4 decades following his presidency.
Lord, we'd be amiss this morning if we did not lift President Carter to you.
At Carter's church, there were prayers and reflections on what he and wife Rosalind fostered in the community.
It's just the examples that they have given to adults as well as my children who have grown up knowing them.
Carter taught Sunday school at the Baptist church, where his niece continued the family's work yesterday.
And to have known them and to love them.
You would have over 500 visitors here that sometimes would spend up to 48 hours in this parking lot waiting just for an opportunity to see him teach.
Others in town shared their thoughts on the longest living president in American history.
Down to earth country boy just like me. He'll tell you the truth about anything.
President Biden tweeted, quote, "We admire you for the strength and humility you have shown in difficult times. May you continue your journey with grace and dignity, and God grant you peace." The family asking for privacy as they spend this important time together. And Marie, I'll leave you with this. I spoke to the owner of a souvenir shop here and I asked him, do you know Carter? He said to me, everyone here knows Jimmy. And I asked him, well, what do you think about what's happening? And he told me, it's sad, but you know, Jimmy Carter will always be alive here in Plains, Georgia. Anne Marie?
Christian Benavides in Plains, Georgia. Christian, thank you so much. Well, President Biden is scheduled to leave for Poland today to mark 1 year after Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Mr. Biden will arrive in Warsaw tomorrow, where he will meet with Poland's president. The White House says Mr. Biden will also give a speech making clear the U.S. will stand with Ukraine for as long as it takes. Poland's prime minister talked about U.S. troops in his country during an appearance yesterday on Face the Nation.
We are in the process of discussion with President Biden's administration about making their presence more permanent and increasing them.
President Biden will also hold talks with the leaders of NATO's 9 eastern flank nations while he's in Poland. And Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky is vowing to maintain its months-long defense of the eastern city of Bakhmut after it came under attack by Russia. This as Ukrainian soldiers face new challenges. Charlie D'Agata reports from Kyiv.
Ukrainian artillery opens fire on Russian positions, a battle that rages on as Ukraine this week marks 1 year since the Russian invasion. Ukrainian defense officials tell CBS News that Russian forces have gone on the attack at multiple points across the battlefield. None more intense than the bombardment of Bakhmut. Ukrainian frontline soldiers north of Bakhmut tell us they're struggling to hold the line. It's hard to lose your comrades in combat, call sign Thunder says. We have very intense fights here. They're attacking us in waves. In Kupiansk, east of Kharkiv, we found a shell of a city captured by Russian troops in the first few months of the invasion, liberated since from occupation, now once again under Russian threat.
Residents here tell us there has been an increase in the number of explosions that they've heard over the past few days. And defense officials tell us that the Russians may be intent on recapturing Kupiansk.
Helena said she returned to her bombed-out home to get warmer clothes. I was only in underpants when we escaped, she said, that and my passport. Life is still a struggle. The economy is in tatters and money for food is scarce. Nobody braves the bitter cold and snow to stand in line for food out of choice. Volunteers serve up the one warm meal many residents will have all day. They brace from the cold, but as the Russian military steps up its shelling, they're also bracing for what's to come.
This time last year, the Russian invasion had not yet begun. Then suddenly, everything changed. As the anniversary draws near, people across Ukraine wonder what this week, this month, what the future will bring. Charlie Daggett, CBS News, Kyiv.
Well, North Korea launched 2 more ballistic missiles this morning, and it comes just 2 days after the country fired a long-range missile into the sea off Japan's west coast. The action comes as the sister of leader Kim Jong-un warned U.S. forces to halt military drills. The U.S. conducted joint air exercises yesterday with Japan and South Korea. And breaking overnight, 1 man is dead and 4 others injured after gunfire erupted at a pre-Mardi Gras parade in New Orleans. Police say it happened last night at the popular Crew of Bacchus parade, known for its elaborate floats. Authorities say one of the injured is a young girl who is in stable condition. One witness told our affiliate WWL about a dozen shots were fired and people were running to get out of harm's way. Police say a suspect believed to be the shooter is in custody and the motive remains unclear. An investigation is underway in Memphis to determine what led to a shooting that left 1 person dead and 10 others injured. Police found several people shot yesterday morning at a nightclub, and they also found 1 person dead and others injured about a mile away. Now, authorities said those victims had fled the scene of the shooting in a car. 5 people are in critical condition. Police released photos of 3 men they're calling persons of interest. More than 2 weeks after a toxic freight train derailed in East Palestine, Ohio, the railroad company is receiving sharp criticism. Yesterday, Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg sent a letter to Norfolk Southern. It warned that it must live up to its commitment to support the community and make residents whole. He also wrote it has to stop putting people at risk. Ohio Democratic Senator Sherrod Brown said Norfolk Southern and corporate lobbyists are responsible for the accident by undermining safety. Well, coming up, returning to the WNBA, Brittany Griner has reportedly signed a deal to continue her basketball career. And later, paying for verification, the latest social media platform to test a subscription service. This is the CBS Morning News.